Hi everyone, this is Heather Smith from Storyville Photography, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve this edit. This image was taken about 2 o'clock on an overcast day, and this is the back of my son in his little Halloween costume, and he just loved being a dragon for the day. This is where we're going to get started, and here's where we are going to finish. I'm currently in Lightroom, and I have straightened this a little bit already, and that's about all that I have done. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into the Storyville Touch of Autumn presets, and I'm going to select the Autumn number 5, and I'm going to keep it just like that. If you own these presets, feel free to play around with the sliders. I highly recommend adjusting your exposure and white balance to fit your images, and in some situations you will have to play with the orange slider in the hue and saturation palette, because it can come on pretty intense depending on the light situation. But for here, it works out perfect, so I'm going to leave it as is. So again, this is the before the preset, and this is after, and now I'm going to take it into Photoshop. Now that I am in Photoshop, the first thing I want to do is get rid of these couple white patches that you see here. So to do that, I'm just going to make a copy of the background layer, Command J, and I'm going to come over here and grab the patch tool. And I'm going to just select this white area and grab this background that will help fill that in with color. And that looks good to me. And for over here, I'm going to use the clone stamp. If I were to use the patch tool, it might bleed some of my little dragon's blue into it, and I don't want that. So patch tool at 100% opacity, 100% flow, and I'm just going to grab an area from over here and just kind of go over it right there. And that looks pretty good to me. Maybe a little bit more. Good. Okay, and as you can see, some of that got on his wing, and that's a really easy fix. So we just want to put a layer mask on, take a black brush at 100% opacity, and I'm going to increase the hardness to about 44%. Zoomed in and just brush it off of his wing. There we go. Okay. So that is the before and the after. Really easy. And as you can see, this kind of looks a little bit thick. So I might just brush some of it off, mask some of it off. Sorry if I'm talking a little bit slow. I'm kind of out of it today, guys, so bear with me. Whoops. Make sure you have the mask layer selected. Okay, there, and that looks better. Now I'm going to flatten that, so layer and flatten, and I want to come over to my actions panel, and I want to run the smoothing and sharpening action. I just love this action so much. Make sure that your image is completely flattened anytime you run this though, guys. So I have the smoothing part selected. I'm going to hit play, continue, continue. Now as you can see, it kind of made it all like really dreamy and smooth. On some images, this can be a little bit too strong, so I recommend just kind of playing with opacity, start from 0, and just increase your way up. For here, I'm going to leave it at about 79%, and then I'm going to go to the step 2 sharpening and hit play. And same with this. You can open it up and play around with the layers that I have in there for you. I like to just kind of do the same thing, decrease the opacity and kind of turn it up. And about 59% looks good to me. So you can flatten it, you can leave it open. I will probably flatten it. And the next thing I want to do is grab the dodge and burn. Continue. I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to first dodge and burn the clothing. As you can see, it's already pretty dark, so I'm probably going to just do some dodging. We might come back and do some dodge and burn combination. We will see. So I'm going to grab a soft white brush. I like to do it at 100% opacity. Just kind of brighten up some of these really dark areas on him. Brighten him up. There we go. and that looks good to me. We don't have to do this here, but say you wanted even more extra dodge and you're already fully at 100% opacity, all you have to do is hit Command J, guys, and duplicate that. But we don't need that there, so I'm going to delete that. And that looks good to me there. I'm going to go into the environment and do the extra dodge on this tree and brighten him up a little bit. Maybe increase that there. That looks kind of nice. Brush a little bit of this off. And that looks pretty good to me. Again, we might go back and play around with these if we need to towards the end of our edit. So that is the before and the after. And the next thing I want to do is grab the image base, hit play. And I do not want the contrast on, so I'm going to turn that off. I want to brush some of the darkened edges off of my little dragon here. And then I'm also going to turn that down. I just want it very subtle. And I think we can turn the color dazzle off, although I do like it on him. So I think what I will do is just hit Command and I and invert that. And then I'm going to grab a soft white brush at 100% opacity and just paint it on him. It's very subtle, but I think it makes a huge difference in the overall product. You can also turn it up if you want. Increase it as much as you like. And that looks good to me. So here is the before and after with the image base. I just love that action so much. Now what I want to do is grab the Storyville Sun number 2. So select it, Command A, copy it, Command C, and then drop it on, Command V. And then I'm going to hit screen mode, Command T to free transform it, bring it to the top, and I want to pull it pretty far down. And that looks good to me. I also like to go to the filter and run the Gaussian blur. If you don't do that, you can find a distinct line going through your image where the sun flare ends. So that's one easy way to do it, or you can add a layer mask and then brush it off with a soft black brush. I also want to change the tone of the overlay. So what I'm going to do is select a hue and saturation palette. Sorry, a little tongue-tied. And hit the down arrow so it's just affecting the sun layer. And I want it to kind of blend a little with the tones that I have going on around. And that looks good to me. So now I'm going to add a layer mask, grab a black brush, and I want to harden my brush a little bit more, around 42%, 100% opacity, and we're going to mask this off. I'm not going to spend a super amount of time on this, guys, but if you're printing or you're doing this for a client, zone in, get really close to the edges, because this is just going to make your subject pop so much and stand out from the background. And a trick, if you want to see your selection, just hit the backsplash, and it's going to fill in red wherever you have painted. It really helps you kind of stay in the lines, if you will. Yours may be a different color, I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, it can be helpful. And see what I'm talking about, guys? If you don't get in really close, it's going to be noticeable. So you want to make sure not to have any halo around, or it will just throw your image off completely. I'm trying to hurry. Sorry, guys. We're trying to make this as fast as I can without making it too sloppy. So if you see any halos on my end, it's because I've already done this and I've spent more time than I would like to admit making sure it was perfect. And for this tutorial, it doesn't need to be. So we're just gonna do a quick run over that. And a little hair. If you get to the edges like here, I would probably soften my brush if I was spending too much time, or I guess I can just to show you guys. So it'll feather a little bit better towards the edges, and you won't have like a huge distinct line. And when you back away, it will be harder to see anyway. Oops. See, that is what we don't want. Okay, and that looks pretty good to me, guys. I don't even think we really need to go back and do any more dodge and burning. I really like how that turned out. So that's the before, and that's the after. It can make a huge, huge difference. Let me drag you on into Lightroom so you can see the before and the after again, because it's just fun to see where you started and where you finished. So that is where we started, guys, and this is where we finished. So, well, that was with the preset. So before and after. Thanks for watching, guys. You can find everything I used here on the Storyville website at www.storyvillephotography.com. Thanks. I hope you have a great day. Bye.